Hello, this is Jon Motgrium. I told you that the Staria Facelift vehicle will be released this month. The detailed information, including price, has been released. The average price increased by about 3 million won, with some seeing a rise of over 7 million won. Then let's take a look at what has changed. When Staria launched, people wondered, is this actually a mass-produced car? Staria, which represents Hyundai Motor Company's MPVs, has returned with a facelift after about 4 years and 8 months. There are exactly 3 key points to this Staria facelift. The design has become more refined. Also, the digital experience inside has been improved, and the ride comfort and quietness have been upgraded as well. Although it's not a full model change, I think this level of improvement makes the facelift a successful product enhancement. Let's start by looking at the design. The front end is what first catches your eye. The previous Staria had a 3-part daytime running light structure. When you see a Staria on the road, you notice gaps in the light instead of a continuous line. I mentioned when it was released that it would have been better if it had been designed as a single continuous line. I also noted that using such a long daytime running light design in a mass-produced car was a notable technological achievement. However, the futuristic feel was a bit lacking. With the facelift, it has changed like this. Now it really looks like a single line. If you look closer, it's not a completely continuous line from start to finish. It's a line that's been greatly extended up to the part where it connects to the bonnet. This was probably due to domestic regulations as well. Still, compared to before, the width of the front has almost doubled from side to side. So, to put it simply, I think the design has become much more refined. This time, there are 3 different grille designs. The 18-inch wheels now feature a geometric design resembling 6 stars with a black interior, giving them a unique look. The second 17-inch wheel has this design. Of course, it's an alloy wheel. The third 17-inch basic wheel has this design. It looks like they intentionally made it simpler, so it's a design you don't see very often these days. The front of the high-end model, Staria Lounge, features a rectangular block pattern and new chrome wheels, giving it a more advanced look. The voluminous bumper garnish has been refined to give a sturdier feel, increasing the overall quality. I think that's enough to note about the exterior design. This time there have been many changes to the interior as well. The real highlight of this facelift is the interior. It really gives you the feeling of a brand new modern car. The display has changed dramatically. First, the infotainment system used to be 10.25 inches. The Staria is the largest vehicle in Korea, reaching over 5 meters in length. Considering this, 10 inches was really too small. In the new model, it's changed like this. The infotainment system is now 12.3 inches, which is a significant increase. It's more than 5 centimeters bigger, so when you see the actual car, you'll really feel how much larger it is. The interior graphics have been redesigned. And another difference is that the previous instrument cluster had rounded corners and was 10 inches in size. The new design features a more angular shape for the instrument cluster. A 12.3-inch thin-film transistor liquid crystal display has been applied. And there's another change. The steering wheel design has been changed. Previously, it looked like this. Now, if you look, there's a logo in the center of the steering wheel, which makes it look like an older vehicle. The new design has changed like this. It's a design you've probably seen quite a bit, and now it's the kind you can find in the latest vehicles. Also, the design of the gear shifter has changed as well. It used to be a button type. The design and position remain the same, but it's no longer a button type. For the high-end lounge version, it's changed to a column type next to the steering wheel. So, if you compare the standard type with the Staria Lounge, the lounge definitely looks more luxurious. The reason is that ambient lighting, which enhances the interior atmosphere, is provided. It's available under the dashboard, on the door side, and on the large central console that's unique to the lounge model. When you see it in person, the difference in presence is quite significant. And the most important part of this facelift is the infotainment system. The previous model's infotainment system had a similar design, was smaller, and used touch controls instead of physical buttons. So, the operation was a bit disappointing, and if you look closely, since the entire infotainment system was filled with buttons, you had to look at it for a while every time you used it. On top of that, the user interface design was a bit confusing, so I personally found it a bit disappointing. The new design has inserted an air vent between the infotainment system and the climate controls. They separated the areas into upper and lower sections. With just this change, it shouldn't be confusing anymore. Now, they've changed it to physical buttons that give you a definite sense of control. Also, a new circular dial, which is the most familiar type, has been added this time. Since this method is the most familiar, I think the user experience will feel quite different. So, is it just the design that's changed? No, it's not. There's one more change. The Staria isn't really a vehicle you talk about for driving fun, but its stability, quietness, and ride comfort have all been further improved. They upgraded the rear suspension and improved sound-absorbing materials, greatly increasing driving stability and interior quietness. They say the front suspension has increased rigidity at the connection between the body and the subframe. They also changed the bushings on the subframe to better absorb shocks from the road. As a result, high-speed driving and straight-line performance have been improved. For the cargo model, they enhanced the rear shock absorber valves for greater damping flexibility, improving ride comfort. In the highest trim, the lounge model, they added hydro bushings to the rear suspension to reduce shocks and vibrations. This is a technology that's being used in the latest vehicles. These are the main improvements in design, interior, driving performance, and ride comfort. But the important part remains, the price. Let's compare it now. Let's compare cargo model prices. The 3.5 LPI offers 2, 3, and 5-seater options. The 3-seater Modern rose from 29,980,000 won to 34,120,000 won, a 4,140,000 won increase. The Cargo LPI 5-seater Modern went from 30,780,000 won to 34,900,000 won, up by 4,120,000 won. Previously, a diesel option was available, but it's now discontinued. The lineup now includes only LPI and hybrid models. Let's compare the mainstream hybrid vehicles. The Cargo 3-seater Modern increased from 34,330,000 won to 37,450,000 won, a 3,120,000 won difference. The new model is a 2-seater, not a 3-seater. The hybrid Cargo 5-seater Modern trim price rose from 35,130,000 won to 38,200,000 won, a 3,070,000 won increase. And there are new trims added in the new model, which weren't available before. These are also the most affordable trims. The Smart trim of the LPI 3-seater is priced at 32,590,000 won, making it the most affordable Staria trim. The 5-seater Smart is 33,330,000 won, the hybrid 2-seater is 36,170,000 won, and the hybrid 5-seater is 36,860,000 won. Let's also compare the Tourer models this time. The 3.5 LPI 11-seater Modern's price rose from 32,800,000 to 36,590,000 won, up by about 4,510,000 won. And the previous 9-seater LPI has been discontinued, and now the lineup is centered around the 11-seater. With so many changes this time, it actually took quite a while to make the comparison. Let's compare the Tourer 1.6 Turbo Hybrid 2. The 9-seater Modern's price rose by 3,460,000 won from 36,530,000 to 39,990,000 won. The 11-seater Modern also increased by the same amount, from 36,530,000 to 39,990,000 won. Finally, let's compare the Lounge, the top-tier model. The 7-seater Inspiration model with the 3.5 LPI rose from 42,540,000 won to 47,050,000 won, a 4,510,000 won increase. The 9-seater Prestige price rose from 37,500,000 to 44,990,000 won, up 7,490,000 won, while the 9-seater Inspiration increased from 41,370,000 to 48,760,000 won, up 7,390,000 won. Let's check the popular hybrid model. The 7-seater Inspiration rose from 46,140,000 won to 50,210,000 won, an increase of 4,070,000 won. The 9-seater Prestige rose from 41,100,000 won to 44,990,000 won, an increase of 3,890,000 won. The 9-seater Inspiration's price rose from 44,970,000 won to 48,760,000 won, a 3,790,000 won increase. In conclusion, it's clear that this facelift is definitely an improvement over the previous model. However, the price increase will likely make it more burdensome. If you buy the cargo model focused on practicality, the price has increased by about 3 million won. If you're considering it for family purposes, you'll probably go for the Tourer, which has gone up by about 4 million won. The high-end version, the Round, is the top-tier model. In fact, you could say it's a class above the others. Its price has increased by more than 7 million won. This time, the facelift has been unveiled. It's also known that an electric vehicle will be released next year. There are many types, trims, and seating options for Staria, so comparing them was harder than I expected. If you found this video helpful, please encourage me with a like. The choice is always up to you, the wise viewers. So next, in the upcoming video, I'll test drive the Staria and closely check what has changed. If you don't want to wait for the next video and want to receive it automatically, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Thank you. If this was helpful, please give it a like. Subscribe and turn on notifications for fast, accurate new car info. Thank you.